Well, 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 you are alive. Well, here we are again. Um, in the stealing a line from Uncle Bobby, Auntie Steph saw some shit, so Auntie Steph's going to talk about some shit. There goes my non-monetization, but there you go. Whatever. Yeah, so Stephen Woodford decided to continue in his series. He did a video with an interview with First Velkai, which I thought was really good. But this is another in a series of so close. You want so badly to be supportive, but you just are missing it. And I think it's because, in a lot of circumstances, it's because people get caught up in their own rhetorical habits. Sex is a binary, etc., and so forth. And those rhetorical habits are rhetorical habits that have been taught and are well accepted. And the key point to remember is that gender critical people use those well established rhetorical flourishes to convince people of the rationality of their arguments, which are designed to foster prejudice, misunderstanding, and bad feeling towards trans people. And this, I think, is one of the things that allies seem to miss when they don't speak to trans people about their approach to the topic. Nitty says I should tag Rationality Rules in the stream title. See, I probably should for the hits and the giggles and all of that. But that's not what I'm about. If Stephen wants to talk to me, maybe he can, maybe he can't find me. I know I prefer to work through back channels, maybe, and there are a few extant, though I've never spoken to him. But it's a broader point. It's not just Stephen. It's a whole bunch. It's many people. It's many people that take this approach. Now let's just get into. I'm not going to spend a great deal of time on this stuff. I mean, we've got the Transatlantic Call-In program coming up at 3:00 with Katie and Ben today. They're the hosts today, and hope you guys will check in there if you're interested in this topic and want to see how they deal with that stuff. I'm scheduled to be on the show with Arden on the 31st of August, so we'll see how that goes as well. And anyway, let's just roll into.
Hey everyone, I hope you are well. I'm gonna do some.
Have I got him muted? I should have checked this out. Made sure everything was copacetic. Oh, I know what it is. I'm deafened on my own machine. See, I can't hear my own feedback. Oh my god. Bear with me just a second. I'm an idiot. I know you can hear me, but I can't hear myself. And that should be better. I'm a dummy. I was working a lot of this stuff. And yeah, I'm undeafened. Go back this 5 seconds here with
something that's very uncharacteristic of me to launch this video. You see, typically I take my time to investigate premises and address objections before getting to a crescendo, but this topic...
And maybe think about your choice of words.
The trans topic, it's built different. Hence, I thought I'd simply tell you...
It is built different, isn't it, Stephen? If it's built that different, maybe you should familiarize yourself with it just a wee bit more.
Straight up what my views on sex and gender are before building up to why I have them. So here it is. For the reasons I'll make clear throughout this video, I think it's obvious that sex and gender are not the same thing. Sex is biological, whereas gender is a social construct. And I prefer to reserve the words male and female for sex and man and woman for gender. Let's start with the form.
And see, here we go. You're a philosopher, right, Stephen? You're a philosopher. Are you familiar with the limitations of language? Are you familiar with translation problems? Are you familiar at all with the fact that humans tend to express themselves in numerous different ways, and there's a good deal of cultural misunderstanding that can go on. So you might keep that in mind.
I define sex based on gamete type and chromosomes, and I see sex as binary.
Wait. Sex and wait. It's gametes and chromosomes, okay? And you see sex as binary, okay? Well, just
repeat that. I see sex as binary. However, it's not as simple.
We'll just get you to repeat that again, okay?
Start with the former. I define sex based on gamete type and chromosomes, and I see sex as binary. I'll repeat that. I see sex as binary. However, it's not as...
Okay, wait a sec. Let me just roll down. Here just a wee bit. Golly, where are our comments? Where do I find the goddamn comments? Shit. Go back to default view. Where's your stinking comments, Stephen? There we go. Oh! Yeah. Oh, wow. 10 hours ago. I don't know when he released the video, but 10 hours ago, Stephen pinned this. To those who said, out of 1,899 comments, somebody, maybe a few people, pointed out, to those who have said that it's more accurate to say my view of sex is bimodal, not binary, you're absolutely correct. Cheers for the pointer. Thanks, mate. You just spent 27 minutes and 20 seconds reiterating time after time that sex is binary. Now, Stephen, I know you're a philosopher. I know you're a brilliant young fellow, and you're always so calm and give that authoritative je ne sais quoi to your delivery. But let's have a look at what a much younger person had to say about the difference between binary and bimodal. This video by Jackson Wagon goes into this thing in response to Matt Walsh. Now you see, Stephen is agreeing with Matt Walsh here. Essentially. And I urge you guys to watch Jackson Wagon's response. This is a bimodal model. This is a binary model. You see, you have discrete male and female categories, and within those categories, you have what in a bimodal model would be represented in this range here, you have them by definition included within the binary. That's the difference. And if that's what Stephen means, he should make that clear to his audience, because his very substantial audience, as an ally, he should make the difference clear. Because by not doing so, you are reinforcing the gender critical folks' already existing worldview. And what they will do is simply say, even these people say. I don't know why people can't see this. I mean, just unbelievably stupid to me. Sorry, I apologize. You're not a stupid human, but you do have your blind spots, Stephen.
Parts or female parts, since there are some variations. Some people, for instance, are born with an extra X chromosome, and others are born with both ovarian and testicular tissue. This is known as true hermaphroditism. So it's fair to say that there's variation. However, just as we acknowledge exceptions to a rule in many domains of discourse, so too do many biologists when it comes to sex. So,
all right, here is a fallacy. An exception doesn't prove a rule in science. An exception says change the rule. As I said in my comment, and you see down here, precision in language on this topic is important, as are first impressions. If you view sex as bimodal, saying you view it as binary, a cornerstone of gender critical argumentation, is not at all helpful. Moreover, chromosomal variations are not, quote, exceptions that prove the rule of binary sex, but rather examples that refute that rule. Sex is indeed bimodal and complicated, as Forrest explains. The consequences of carelessness in discussion for real people are large. Please consider that. And you can see that in reaction to that comment, which I posted this morning 3 hours ago, in reaction to that comment, here's someone saying they're no exception since they don't make individuals fall out of the binary. What Stephen is doing throughout his 27 minutes of purported allyship is reinforcing the model of the binary. And the people in his chat that think he's the most reasonable man on earth, perhaps, or push back on him because he is trying to be an ally, they say this: they're not an exception at all since they don't make individual fall out of the binary. It's not moving the dime. It's not moving the conversation. And this is the problem I have with well-meaning people who, as the cover to this video shows, Raphael's painting, are cis men sitting around talking about trans women without considering. And I know Forrest doesn't hold these views. He believes that it's bimodal, but he knows what it means. He's a biologist. Stephen is not. Stephen is a wordsmith.
Sex, per my view, is binary. And as of this time, no, you can't change your sex.
How many times?
To be clear, there are other definitions of sex on the table that do not entail sex being binary. And my guest today, throughout this video, Forrest Falkai, is an example of a biologist, no less, that holds such a view. In our podcast, in fact, he reads out several...
A biologist, no less, that holds this view. In other words, a scientist who has studied the literature, who has taken courses, who has degrees. No less. No more than you, mate. More than you. But
biological textbooks backing up his view, and you'll be able to see that at a later date. But as for me, I subscribe to a binary view of sex because I think it has the most utility. Moving on to gender.
Because it has the most utility. In what? For what? Explain yourself. What sort of utility are you talking about, mate? He's making these videos for 26,642 views, and he is talking out his ass, and he is not really helping. It's so frustrating because he wants to be convinced. I think he's convincing himself that he is being supportive of trans people, of people with differences of sexual development, or intersex people, or or people with chromosomal variations, or people that are stuck here. But he's using us as little things to put in a shop window, and not thinking about the impact that this discourse is having on our fucking lives. And it's all an intellectual jack-off contest in search of views. I mean, I'd like to be charitable, but my God, the man has 331,000 subscribers. And these are the people that are representing allyship to trans people in front of those thousands of people, hundreds of thousands of people. And over 250,000 people have watched this in 20 hours. And I have 151 subscribers. Frustrating, man. It's hard.
Here's how I view it. Gender is a social construct that heavily correlates to secondary sexual characteristics, genitalia, behaviors, and aesthetics. Just as
secondary sex characteristics, primary sex characteristics, though, according to you, according to the binary, are solely determinative of what sex is. And it's not. It's not.
As a castle is a social construct that heavily correlates to curtain walls, crenellations, matriculations, and moat. Or to give another example, money. Money is a social construct that heavily correlates to polymer, copper, nickel, silver, gold, etc. Now, while social constructs often refer to factual states about the world, they are not themselves inherently natural. They exist because of social norms, values, beliefs, and practices. The social construct of a castle does not tangibly exist, but the bricks and mortar do tangibly exist. Likewise, the social construct of a woman does not tangibly exist, but sexual characteristics such as white hips do exist. and so too do behaviors. And just as there's not a single necessary condition, a single attribute that dictates whether something is or is not a castle, the same is true of man and woman. A good example to illustrate this are people with complete androgen insensitivity syndrome. While they are, per my view, male, that is, they have XY
right? Per my view, not to the biology's view, not to science's view, not to the people. I mean, my God, dude, you were showing naked bodies up here, and you're treating us like those $50 bills you just showed, dude, really?
chromosomes and small gametes. They develop outwardly as females due to insensitivity to male sex hormones. Their testicles, in fact, are inside of them as if they were ovaries. As a result, these males are often mistaken as female at birth and are often raised as girls. In fact, if you didn't know that they had this condition, you absolutely would mistake many of them as female, as would they themselves. Now,
and they're mistaken. Stephen, do you see your problem here? Do you fucking see your fucking problem here? The more, I mean, it's just they mistake themselves for who they are, for who they were raised as. They mistake themselves? Really? Oh, wait. You know, this is like a recapitulation of so much garbage. You know, it's just, oh, man. I gotta tell you. See, you know, the perfect solution to this is for everyone to have this. Okay? We're going to show you this. This is Maria Jose Martinez Patiño's certificate of femininity that she got when she attended and competed in the World Championships in track and field in 1983. She got a certificate of femininity by virtue of the fact that she stripped down naked, had a little buckle smear, that they didn't catch the fact that she was XY with AIS. But they gave her a certificate of femininity. She was raised as a girl, grew up as a girl, looks like a girl, is a girl phenotypically. But according to you, my man, and I do mean man, I'd like, could we see his certificate of masculinity? Has he had that buckle smear? Has he stripped naked in front of a panel of people to prove that he has a dick? I mean, dude, the sheer gall, and to use castles and money as in comparison to human beings. I mean, it's and at the end of the day, to sit there and say, oh well, you know, I'm an ally. And he'll probably be mad that I'm criticizing him in this way, but Jesus, mate. You've already stepped in this morass once. Why are you doing it again? Jesus.
By my lights, this one intersex condition alone demonstrates that gender is not strictly determined by chromosomes or sex organs, and thus that some males are women. So there's my view up front. It's not the only view on the table, definitely not, but it is my current stance. Now, let's get to the video.
Let's not. You all can go and watch the the balance of this, but that was all by way of prologue. And he used the term sex is a binary, by my count, 5 times. At least. And after he publishes the video, which apparently was 20 hours ago, 10 hours after publishing the video, he makes a comment, pins it, and says, to those who have said that it's more accurate to say that my view of sex is bimodal, not binary, you're absolutely correct. Cheers for that pointer. And again, he spends 27 minutes and 20 seconds in front of 26,825 people, with the potential for being in front of his 331,000 subscribers and more. I don't subscribe to Steven's channel. Maybe I should. Saying that sex is a binary. Not bimodal, binary. To me, that's pretty damn weak tea to pin a comment 10 hours after you've published the thing, after you've said all this stuff, after you've gone through this whole highfalutin notion of what social constructs are, forgetting the humanity of the people involved. It's pretty damn weak tea. Do better, Stephen. Anyway, that's about all I've got on this. And you know, I watched that introduction, got a bad case of indigestion, did some aggressive work on a sewing machine, came back and watched the balance of the thing. And again, the balance of the video, he goes through the intersex conditions but he all throughout, he pulls up an example of an AIS person in turn of the century-ish England, who was born a girl, raised a girl, married a guy, adopted children, had a wonderful family, and found out at the age of 50 that it must have been some, 50, that would make sense, 50 something, that her karyotype was XY. And he goes on and on and on. It's like, well, this person shouldn't have ever be considered a man because of social construct, etc., and so forth. But she is male. And the only reason you are fixated on the notion that she is male is because you are attached to a definition that you can't get out of for yourself. So when you say, and when you post that I view sex as a bimodal distribution, then you really don't say that there are 2 boxes and only 2. But yet you just spent half an hour, or just shy of a half an hour, talking about that. Okay, that's all I got, and I want to thank all of you for coming in here and hitting the buttons and liking, subscribing, share the video if you would. That's much help. And links below and all of that other stuff. But I really appreciate you coming by, and we will see you later. Go watch Takis. Gone.